Hi there. Thanks for tuning in to check out my video. Purpose of this video is to fill a huge void of information for a new product to hit the Canadian market. The lever arms LA K-12 Puma. As of the time that this video was made, there are no videos and very little information aside from the distributor's website. So what we're dealing with is a 12 gauge 2 3/4 inch cylinder bore shotgun. It's semi-automatic, magazine fed, bullpup, non-restricted platform. It's a 19-inch barrel, it weighs in at approximately 8 pounds. Now for appearance, this thing just looks badass. I mean, there's not much more you can say about it than that. But it is rather blocky, and it doesn't have any real style, if it can look badass and have no style at the same time, in my opinion. So some of the operating features, this has a reciprocating charging handle. The bolt locks back on the last round. The bolt, in fact, will lock back with no magazine. So that's kind of cool. No mag hold opens to fumble with, anything like that. So I think that's a pretty decent feature. I'm not a big fan of the reciprocating charging handle. It seems to be out of the way. When shooting it, it doesn't seem to bite me. I just think, and kind of the purpose for a shotgun like this would be for a lot of guys are looking at it possibly going for a 3-gun competition shotgun, and standing in a normal position, that reciprocating charging handle is not going to be an issue. But I can see it possibly becoming an issue when you're bending, turning, if there are barricades or anything that you're shooting in and around, that you could get into a position where that charging handle could hang up on something. I don't know that that will happen. Again, my opinion, I see that it's a possibility. So the trigger on this shotgun is, it's got a really long, spongy pull. So it takes a bit to get it to where it's going. Long pull. 8 pounds 4 ounces on average, and it's not predictable. A lot of good triggers, you can tell the moment the trigger's about to break. I don't get that feel from this trigger. On the first shot, the reset is respectable. It's pretty decent. The reset's pretty crisp, and after it resets, the shot breaks pretty quickly with a little pressure on the trigger. So the initial trigger pull is not great in my opinion, but the reset's not bad. For a bullpup, it's not as good as a Tavor trigger, but it's also not terrible. I mean, for what you're dealing with, this is essentially a toy. It's filling a bit of a void in the market, I would say. But you know, hopefully with the next generation they'll improve on that, or perhaps some aftermarket companies will start coming out with some parts for it if it gains popularity that will help improve the trigger a little bit. Now, field stripping this is pretty easy. Removing the one pin allows this top section to come off, and that will allow the bolt and the firing mechanism to come right out. And the gas system, just turning this thing and pulling it out, and you can pull the piston out of the gas system through the front for cleaning. So basic field strip is pretty easy. I'll include a disassembled picture of what everything looks like apart. I'm not going to spend the time to do that here. Complete disassembly is also with that pin. There's another pin here a pin here and this front sight screw. By removing those 3 pins and that sight screw, this thing disassembles completely and very easily. It comes apart easily, it goes back together easily, so completely stripping it to clean it, if that's what you like to do or just like to learn about it, is really quite easy to do. So no fear that way. It's not what I would consider a particularly complex piece of equipment, in that you would have to have an engineering degree in order to figure out how to disassemble and put it back together. If you have some firearms experience, it is quite intuitive. Now, as far as shooting, it points rather well. It comes up into position, and it's got comfortable ergonomics. This nice front handle here just seems it's good. It's nice to hold. It points well, and the recoil is quite manageable. That being said, of course, it is only a 2 3/4 inch. It only holds 2 3/4 inch shells, so it's not like you can put the big Magnum slugs in it or anything like that. Now, that being said, the magazine will not hold all brands of slugs. The Fiocchi 1 ounce slug is just about 2 millimeters too long to seat properly in the magazine. It just means that you're going to have to check for ammunition that's going to work for you. I'll throw up a picture of the ammo length comparison. I was able to buy some other ammunition at the range that fit in it well and cycled well, and that's the video of shooting it that you'll see. The Fiocchi 7/8 inch reduced recoil slugs fit just fine in the magazine, but they don't have enough power to cycle the action. So what happens is every round shot with that ammo, I experienced a failure to eject stovepipe type situation. So just a matter of using ammo that's powerful enough to cycle the action, and that is on the gas setting that should cause the action to cycle with less powerful ammo, and the low recoil slugs still were not adequate to cycle it. The safety on this thing, way back here, bad position. Trying to get to that thing, it's awkward, it's not intuitive, it makes no sense to have the safety back here. The other thing I don't like about it, I don't like anything that indicates on-off with the I and the O, the binary code symbols. Just simply put a red dot, safety fire, or ready and safe. Any of those things that most firearms have. I don't like the IO symbols. They may be international, etc., etc. Pet peeve, not a big fan, but being that the safety is really inconvenient, in all likelihood I won't find myself using it much. I'll be going up to the line, inserting the magazine, emptying the magazine, clearing the firearm, and then walking away from the line. I don't see myself using the safety on this, just because it's completely out of the way and just inconvenient to get to. The ergonomics of the safety, terrible, but what are you going to do? The instructions that were included with this are, they will let you know the tiniest bit of information. I would say the instructions are inadequate. They don't give you any indication of field stripping. They do mention the gas settings, for the adjustable gas settings. But that's about all. The instructions take up about a half of a page of regular paper, are about 150 words, and they leave a lot wanting. I definitely would recommend that Lever Arms has a look at developing a slightly more comprehensive instructions. Just because let's not assume that everyone that may buy this shotgun knows enough about firearms to just jump in and do what they need to do. So more comprehensive instructions would definitely be helpful in my mind. The overall fit and finish, I feel that everything fits together quite well. There doesn't seem to be any unusual gaps. Everything seems to line up well, fit tightly. I mean, I'm impressed with it from that standpoint. In the finish standpoint, not really impressed with that. All of the mold lines, because a lot of it's plastic, especially where you grip, there's some very, very sharp mold lines that are very uncomfortable. That's a pretty minor thing. 2 minutes with a Dremel and a small sanding drum on it, I smooth those right out and they're no longer an issue. But it's something I mean, we wouldn't necessarily expect from a Chinese-built firearm. But it is a downside. When you take it out of the box, you're going to have to do a little bit of cleaning on the finish end of things to get rid of some of those sharp edges. They're just very uncomfortable, and I wouldn't be surprised if you could even end up cutting your finger underneath the trigger guard on recoil if you don't clean that up before you take it to the range. As soon as I got it out of the box, I noticed those edges and said, that's got to go. So I took care of those right away. Like I say, not a big deal, but it's something that it should be taken care of before you even receive it. So that is the Lever Arms LA K-12 Puma 12 gauge semi-automatic magazine fed bullpup shotgun. I hope this video was informative and was able to give you a little bit more information, and thank you for watching.